Hey, Wicked Deke here. Bigfoot spotter, journalist, 38th cousin of Nostradamus. What the F? And in this case, it's not what you think. Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein. Saw it last night. Again, for like the 5 millionth time. If you've never seen this movie, go rent it. It should be on Netflix or something of that sort. Absolutely freaking hilarious. Yes, it is black and white, but it is truly, truly very, very funny. If you go onto YouTube, I think you can look it up. Do a search for Young Frankenstein. It'll come up with like a little 5-minute summary of some of the points. It is one of the great movies ever made. But in relation to the Kings, they never can make it easy, right? I mean, what are they doing? Good Lord. Suck the pipe all year. And now they're what? 8-2-1 in their last 11, I think. 5-game winning streak. Yeah, I get it. Players are never going to try and lose and so on and so forth. But my God, people. So with the win today over the Wild, the Kings are now the, 29th place in the NHL. They, quote unquote, passed the Senators. And not the end of the world, because it means, if we have our usual lottery luck, we drop to the, 6th pick overall, I think. And there's still some good prospects there. But the problem is, if you go look at the league standings, just put them all in a row, you'll see that there are 3 teams above us that are very close to us. So if we continue on this hot streak, we could easily pass, who is it? San Jose, Anaheim, and New Jersey, I think. And that would drop us to what? 6. I think there's another team too. It might drop us to like 7. So if we have our usual lottery, like we could end up picking like 10th. And the guys that are available at 10th ain't nearly as good as the guys that are available at 5 or 6. Oh, Kings. God, I hope they don't do this. And yeah, I know it's good to see them win, but seriously, we're in the last 15 games of the season, and these wins mean nothing. Ugh. Well, what are you going to do? Players, Trevor Moore. I'm liking Trevor Moore. I mean, he's got 3 goals with the Kings now, I think. He's got speed. He's a guy that I think is going to be a good third-line winger type. Yeah, I know the Kings got $5 million bottom 6 forwards, but he looks a step above our usual schlock. And that he's actually productive and he scores. Looks like I can play the penalty kill. I'm liking him. I'm thinking he's more than just a throw-in from the Campbell and Clifford trade. I had some Toronto fans who actually told me that he was the kind of player that would probably like. He does a lot of little stuff and everything else. And so happy with him, happy with his production. And at the same time, you're seeing the Wagner, the Hands of Stone. His ice time's going down. Finally. And, not to bag on him, but he's been pretty much what was advertised, and he hasn't really advanced much from what he was in the AHL. Guy with a lot of speed, no hands, and occasionally defensively awful. And so seeing his time get reduced, I think, is good. I think that it shows the coaching staff is starting to actually wake up and apply what they said they were going to do, which is, taking ice time away from players who aren't producing in the way that you would hope. And so I think that's a positive. And as Kings fans, you better get used to this, because as some of the better prospects come up, a lot of the guys we're looking at now and people are speaking highly of, they're not going to be on the team. They're going to get dropped, or they may become fringe players. A guy like Lizotte, great story, but he'll probably be fourth liner, you think? Maybe. Because you're going to be bringing up Jared Anderson-Dolan at some point. Turcotte's coming up at some point. Thomas, you have all these guys coming up, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But the Wagners of the world, Amadios of the world, I think that they probably should rent instead of buying homes, and that's positive, because it means the overall quality of the team will be going up, and that's what we want. Dick Abster, wasn't that a weird goal today? If you didn't see it, it was third period. Game was basically over. Maybe a minute left or so. Face off. Puck goes around a couple times, and then when the Kings is trying to shoot the puck in, it hits a Wild, and it goes flying in the air like a beautiful lofted golf shot. And Gabe is going into the offensive zone, and it lands and takes a divot out of the ice, and Gabe slams it from about, 20 feet away maybe. And the goalie looked a little surprised, beat him shorthand just above the shoulder. Fox was saying elbow, but it looked like just above the shoulder. Goldie looks surprised. Gabe looks surprised. Everybody looks surprised. Alex Fost even had to interrupt whatever blathering story he was telling to go, wait, they scored again. I felt so bad for him. He was really getting into whatever he was tattling on about. But that was kind of interesting. Nonetheless, and hearing some negative comments about the Gabester. And with McClellan taking time away from him in the third period and things of that sort in various games. Easy. The entire goal for this year was just to get Gabe onto the ice. Remember, not only didn't he play for a year and a half because of his back, but he didn't do anything hockey-wise either. So he hasn't had any development, no practice, no nothing. Don't worry about Gabe. I agree with you. He looks a little bit behind the game. I don't think it's his speed, which was a big worry. I think it's more just thinking. He's a little slow, seeing the game and seeing how it's playing out at times. But I'm not particularly worried about it because, this will be the first summer in 2 years that he'll have time to actually work on his game instead of worry about his back. And I imagine that, having played at this level now, he's got some pretty good ideas of where, he needs to work on his game. And I imagine he's going to look a lot better in October. In fact, if you hear some of the interviews with him, he's already talked about it. Got to work on my skating. I got to work on, recognizing situations quicker, blah, 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 blah. So not worried about him at all. Yeah, I know he's only got 2 goals and 4 points or something like that. Doesn't matter. Just let him be. If he gets through the end of this year, plays, all the remaining games, doesn't have any injuries, he's able to play the games, and he doesn't score a single other point, it will be a glorious year for him. Remember, it was 3 months ago, most people were like, he'll never play. So let the boy be. Let the boy be. And then today is a big day. And you might not realize it, but it's a big day when we start hearing about some of our college prospects. Wisconsin is playing Ohio State today. Last time I checked, it was 0-0 after the first period. Wisconsin must win the game or the season is over. And the question then becomes, does the good Alex appear? No, not Alex Fost, the good one. Alex Turcotte, the Turcotte warrior. And yes, I know his name is Turcotte. I call him Turcotte because all hockey players, you want to always add that E to the end. Richie, Brownie, Schwarzenegger. But anyways, we should hear soon from Alex one way or the other. And if he does turn pro, from what I read in the Athletic article about Wisconsin hockey, sort of sounded like that was the way he was leaning. If he does turn pro, then maybe he gets a cup of coffee with the Kings this year. They stick him out there on the 4th or 3rd line, let him play a few games so he can get a feel for, what's required at the NHL level, and then head into the summer and, work on his body and what have you. Turcotte's game is fine. It's, everything you see from him, he looks like an NHL kind of player. But he has a bit of the Jack Hughes issue, which is he needs to add some weight. He needs to add some muscle and develop kind of more of an NHL body. So I imagine next year he would probably start at least at the AHL level, unless he has a great camp. Put him down there and let him play and get stronger and what have you. But nonetheless, that could be a big move. The other one, of course, is Madden, the kid we picked up in the Toffoli trade, who is very light from a weight perspective, but he is he's a tenacious player. He's a guy you're really going to love. He is really a handful. He needs to add weight too, but anyways, he's on Northeastern. He's been out with a broken, a finger, I think. But Northeastern is a good team, playoff team, quality team. He's their number one guy, and with him out, they've almost completely collapsed. So I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs, or if he'll get back in time for them, to get in. But nonetheless, their season is going to be over fairly soon as well, and it'll be interesting to see what Madden does. Does he go back for another year? Does he come to the Kings this coming year? So watch out for those two guys, because those two guys are definitely difference makers. And then, of course, all the prospects and juniors, you have to imagine most of them are going to be leaving juniors after this year. We'll just have to see. So anyways, Kings are making the turn. And now there needs to be some stern discussions over not going on a winning streak and this winning streak. if we miss out on all the top forwards this year in the first round, I'm not going to be happy. I am not going to be happy. So, anyways, dig out.